political, non-political topic and personal topic. And when they share, they should know what are the boundaries, because we have seen of late, especially in last few months, that there has been increasing cases against people who have not understood properly, or they have not understood the implications of these things, and face some legal consequences. So today we have invited two speakers to speak on these things and share their views on various things, not only legal background, but also some of the practical things which has happened, some of the cases which they will share with you, and that can give you some background. So I invite today our AIPC head of Haryana, Mr. Vijay Dhillon, to welcome our AIPC zonal in charge, Mr. Salman Soz, and start this conversation.
Welcome, Salman ji. On behalf of AIPC Haryana, I would like to thank you for sparing some time and joining us. Now, without wasting much time, since we are professional Congress, we should be on time. I would like to introduce Mr. Salman Soz. He's Vice President of AIPC, and he's the national spokesperson of All India Congress Committee. So we'll start the discussion, and I would like to request Mr. Salman Soz to say a few words about the topic.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for inviting me. Well, you know, I had actually seen this clip of Sukhvinder, where he was defending someone from our party, and I felt at that time that you know, we have so much talent in the Congress party that, and there's so much to learn from each other, so much talent in the AIPC actually also, that I thought we should kind of get together, learn a little bit about this particular incident, and maybe broaden the discussion as you have now on, given India's current political environment, how we are on social media, how to protect each other, how to protect ourselves, to make sure that we are not targeted. And I think this is a very timely discussion. And I really want to learn from not just Sukhvinder, but also Roshan, both of them very good lawyers. So I don't really want to take any of the time. I just want to first thank AIPC Haryana for organizing this at relatively short notice. I also see that you guys are fairly active. You know, I keep seeing your stuff on social media. I know there's public outreach on the part of different chapters of Haryana, whether it is Faridabad or Gurgaon or Ambala. Am I missing something? We have 3 chapters. Maybe we have another one, right?
Hisar also. We have Hisar also.
Yeah. So I think we should listen to these 2 AIPC fellows and learn from them. I'm going to stay with you for as long as I can. But thank you again for organizing this. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mr. Soz, and I think that definitely, as you mentioned, that Mr. Nara would be sharing the more about the details about the case, also see that how we can avoid those things and be very careful about those things and not get into the trap. I would also invite our AIPC CEO, Mr. Alim, to share about AIPC a bit, and then we'll start the conversation from the 2 speakers.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. As Salmanji said, I don't want to take too much time because this is a very important topic. I just want to convey my sincere thanks to the team in Haryana, to Sukhvinder ji and Roshan for agreeing to do this on this issue of vital national importance. AIPC, as you know, is a key department of the Indian National Congress, the department set up specifically for working tax-paying professionals across India. We have come a long way in the past 2.5 years. We've existed for about that much time, and in that we've managed to accomplish a lot, particularly in bringing professionals closer to politics. Today, with the current COVID crisis and other issues in our country, it's very important for us to have conversations. It's very important for us to try and do our bit to help our country, but also to elevate the quality of debate. That is always a constant in the work of the AIPC. I don't want to take any more time, so I just want to say that in social media, it is an instrument through which we can bring people together. But unfortunately, and increasingly today, it is being used as an instrument to pull people apart. Thank you very much again for organizing this. If you aren't a fellow of AIPC, please do join us. To do so, log on to our website, profcongress.com, and click on Become a Fellow. It's a two-step process. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Media has become a vital communication tool through which individuals can exercise their right of freedom and expression and exchange information and ideas. In the past years, we can see that there is a growing movement of people around the world who are advocating for change, for justice, for equality, for accountability, for of the powerful and respect for the human rights. In such moments, the internet and social media has often played a key role by enabling people to connect and exchange information instantly and by creating a sense of solidarity. If we talk about the international perspective of social media and freedom of speech and expression, the UN Human Rights Committee has also tried to give practical application to freedom of speech and expression in the radically altered media landscape. The center stage of which is occupied by the internet and mobile communication. The committee had stated that the states should take all necessary steps to foster the independence of these new media and also ensure access to them. Article 19 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Article 19.2 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights also provides for freedom of speech and expression, even in case of internet and social media. Thus, it is seen that freedom of speech and expression is recognized as a fundamental right in whatever medium it is exercised. And in light of the growing use of internet and social media as a medium of exercising this right, access to this medium has also been recognized as a fundamental human right. Even if the situation of India is considered, that is, I think, a lot better than that of their fellow citizens of other nations. But the picture is not really soothing or mesmerizing for Indians anymore, because India is no more a paradise on the earth where you can speak your heart out without the fear of someone gunning you down for that. The observation I'm making with regard to the exercise of the right of freedom of speech and expression in the context of social media and the hurdles placed on that by the arbitrary use of so-called the cyber law of the nation, particularly the Information Technology Act, the Indian Penal Code, and I can say even the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. This freedom is broadly understood as the notion that every person has the natural right to freely express themselves through any media without outside interference such as censorship and without fear of reprisal such as threats and persecutions. Though, because as Roshanji has said, this is very complex right because freedom of speech and expression is not absolute, and it carries with it certain duties and responsibilities. Therefore, it may be subject to certain restrictions as provided by the law. Article 19, as Roshanji has discussed, of the Constitution of India confers on us the right to freedom of speech and expression, which means that we have right to express our convictions, our opinions freely by word of mouth, by writing, by printing, by pictures, or by any other mode. So, if we talk about social media as a platform for the freedom of speech, we can see that through social media, we express our views, opinions, and sometimes also criticize the anti-people policies of the government. But we need to be careful when we criticize the government and the leaders who are in power, because it is seen that such a criticism is often stifled by slapping criminal cases of defamation, sedition, IT Act, and sometimes even this UAPA, as Roshan just discussed, the sedition also. So in this session, I would like to quote this Deepak Gupta. Recently, he said that uh, if we stifle the criticism of the executive, the judiciary, the bureaucracy, and the armed forces, we shall become a police state. instead of a democracy. What he said, I would like to read that. For me, there is a very important right which is not spelled out in the Constitution: the right of freedom of opinion, the right of freedom of conscience. The by themselves include the most important right, that is right to dissent. This is what observed by Justice Deepak Gupta. He further observed that every society has its own rules, and over a period of time, when people stick to only age-old rules and conventions, the society degenerates. It doesn't develop. He further said that new thinkers are born when they disagree with well-accepted norms of the society. If everybody follows the well-trodden path, no new path will be created and no new vistas of the mind will be found. Justice Deepak Gupta further said that if a person doesn't ask questions and raise issues questioning the age-old systems, no new system will develop, and horizons of the mind will not expand. New thoughts and religious practices have developed only when they have questioned the old. And as Rochanji has referred the judgment of Supreme Court regarding Section 66A, in Shreya Singh's case, the Supreme Court, while declaring this Section 66A ultra vires to the Article 19(1) of the Constitution of India, the Supreme Court has said that this section put restrictions on online speech and it provided power to arrest a person for sharing offensive content online. The court said that the law invaded the right of free speech and was vaguely worded, and thus the police could misuse it. The Supreme Court's order in this judgment upheld the citizens' fundamental right to liberty granted under Article 19 and Article 21, and called those rights sacrosanct and non-negotiable. But even after the abolition of Section 66A by the Supreme Court in Shreya Singh's case, we can see many cases in which the police have registered the FIR under Section 66A of the Information Technology Act. And personally, I have seen many FIRs under this abolished provision. So we can still see the police wrongly arresting people or persecuting journalists, the social media activists, and leader of the non-ruling parties. So they are charged under the various provisions of the Indian Penal Code, the Information Technology Act, and sometimes even under the UAPA. So the instances of arrest for sharing political views, jokes, or memes online have started to create a sense of fear among citizens. So because Salmanji have asked me to refer to some incidents of multiple FIRs, so I'll cite some incidents. I will take first case from the UP. You might have seen that case in the newspapers also. An FIR has been filed against a retired IAS officer, Surya Pratap Singh, by the police for a tweet in which he raised questions about the state government's testing policy related to the coronavirus pandemic. The FIR says that the tweet has wrong facts and misinformation and has led to an atmosphere of fear among the public at large. So that IAS officer has been charged with disobeying rules, intent to incite, and other sections of the law on epidemic control. And second case I will take from Gujarat of Dhaval Patel. Dhaval Patel, he's the editor of an online Gujarati news portal that is Face of Nation, and the police booked him for sedition for allegedly publishing a speculative report on possible change of the CM of Gujarat. His report has suggested that there may be a possible change in leadership due to criticism over rising number of COVID-19 cases in Gujarat. The third case, which is a recent one and heard by the Supreme Court today only, of Vinod Dua. Vinod Dua has published a video on YouTube, and he questioned the investigating agency as to why this Kapil Mishra and Anurag Thakur have not been charged for daily riots. So the police registered FIR against this, Vinod Dua for questioning the investigating agency. And after this FIR in Delhi, I think there is an FIR in Himachal Pradesh, and there might be some other FIRs in the other states also. But the Delhi High Court stayed the investigation, I think, in Delhi case. But today Supreme Court heard that matter regarding the Himachal Pradesh FIR. And what the Supreme Court has said today that no, we cannot stay the investigation. You need to join the investigation. You need to cooperate with the investigation. Now, Vinod Dua has to join the investigation, but thing is the police will come to his house and he need to face multiple FIRs. He need to defend multiple FIRs. But the same Supreme Court in PT Antony's case says that there cannot be multiple FIRs, there cannot be multiple investigations if there is an FIR already pertaining to the same incident. But in Arnab Goswami's case, the Supreme Court granted relief and stayed the other FIRs. But in Vinod Dua's case, Supreme Court said that no, you need to join the investigation, even in Simla's case. So this is how the system is operating. And the fourth case I will take from state of Madhya Pradesh of Tansin Tiwari. He is a journalist and he posted something on I think Facebook or Twitter. What he said that Bharatiya Janata Party leaders are Gappu and Thadipar. The police registered the case after local BJP leader and advocate reported the matter to the police station on his party's letterhead. In this complaint, the BJP leader said that the 66-year-old journalist Tansin Tiwari wrote a post on the Facebook which indirectly described the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, as Gappu and other party leaders as Tadipar and rapist, which not only defames the party but its leaders and also hurts the sentiments of the party leaders and crores of the members. The fifth case I'll take from the state of UP. The case of Prashant Kanojia. Kanojia is a former staff reporter at The Wire Hindi, and now I think he's working with Politics. The Lucknow police registered case against him on the ground that he made objectionable remarks about Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on social media. The case was lodged after a complaint was filed by a local BJP leader. And the complainant alleged that he also found some of his previous tweets containing hate comments and which could divide communities and also disturb law and order of the state. So this is not the first time where Prashant Kanojia was implicated in a case. Earlier also in June 2019, he was arrested by the Lucknow police, the same police station, the Hazratganj, for social media post on Yogi Adityanath. He was released on bail on the direction of the Supreme Court. And while ordering the release of Prashant Kanojia, Justice Indra Banerjee observed, I may read that, we might not approve the nature of his posts, but we are concerned about his arrest. This is a nation that has a constitution. Liberty cannot be infringed like this. The Supreme Court did not approve his post, but Supreme Court had a strong objection to his arrest. Sixth case I will take from UP itself, that is of Ishika Singh, Anuj Shukla and Anshul Kaushik. The UP police arrested Ishika Singh, head of Noida-based news channel Nation Live, and Anuj Shukla, one of the editor of the news channel. The UP police also arrested Anshul Kaushik, another editor of the news channel. They were booked for publishing objectionable content related to a controversial video of a woman who claimed she had sent a marriage proposal to the state's chief minister, Ajay Singh Bist, who is also known as Yogi Adityanath. And this is how the FIRs were registered against these reporters, and they were implicated in multiple FIRs later. And in this session, as Vijayji has said, that we also need to cover the cases of teenagers. So I will cite one example from UP regarding a case which is registered against a teenager. He's a Muslim boy, a 16-year-old boy, Muslim by faith. He was detained by the UP police on the day when former Prime Minister and BJP leader Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee passed away. This teenager wrote on the Facebook expressing his anger at Vajpayee, whom he alleged was involved in the infamous demolition of the Ayodhya mosque Babri Masjid. His post went viral. As a result, he spent, I think, 39 or 40 days in custody. He said that he was later shunned by all his non-Muslim friends. The boy who was previously vocal on social media seems to have shut up after his exposure to state machinery. So this is how a teenager who is innocent otherwise, because of one post regarding Vajpayee ji, spent 39 or 40 days in jail. So this is how the teenagers need to be careful while posting something on social media, because a single tweet or single post can spoil their career. Now I'll take the case of a journalist from Kashmir. This is the case where a photojournalist from Jammu and Kashmir was charged under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. The police said that Masrat Jahra, a freelance photojournalist who reports mostly about women and children in conflict, uploaded photographs that could provoke the public to disturb law and order. And you see how this law is serious. A person charged under this act can be jailed for up to 7 years. This is not only one case. We can also see the cases of many Kashmiri leaders who are still under indefinite detention. They are unable to express their political opinions. And we can take one more case from Delhi, case of Alka Lamba. Recently, on an old video, I think 2 years old video, she has been implicated in a case by the Delhi police. No, by the UP police, I think. Yes, UP police, the same police station, Hajratganj at Lucknow. She also made some remarks against Prime Minister Narendra Modi and UP CM Adityanath. And interestingly, this complaint was not filed by any BJP leader or by a common man. This complaint has been filed by a member of the Child Protection Commission. So this is how we can say that even the bodies, the authorities, the commissions are under the control of the BJP government, and they are working at their instances. Whatever they say, that if you want to get any person behind the bar, you can ask any member of the commission that lodge an FIR against him. So this is how this FIR has been lodged. Then we can also see the cases of student activists from Delhi. Although this is not a case of freedom of speech on social media, but this is, yes, this is a case of freedom of speech and the right to protest. We can cite the example of Safura Jargar. She is a pregnant lady and student of Jamia Millia Islamia. She was arrested under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. When she was released on bail on the substantial offences, soon after that, she was booked under the UAPA, and now she is in custody. Even the bail has been denied to her. So, as we were discussing the cases, I will not forget to refer to Pankaj Punia's case. I think on the basis of which this initiative has been taken to organize this case, this webinar. Pankaj Punia, he posted a tweet on 19 May. The alleged offending tweet was referring to two incidents. So one incident was in UP. This was a rally, I think, of Hindu Yuva Vahini, where some statement was made regarding Muslim women. And second incident was at Gargi College. So you might have heard that the incident that some people chant while chanting Jai Shri Ram, and they outpaced the modesty of the girls there in the college. So when he posted this tweet on 19 May on Twitter, next day, I think in the morning, with hashtag arrest Pankaj Punia, there was a campaign on Twitter. And pursuant to that campaign, pursuant to that trend on Twitter, the FIRs were lodged in state of Haryana, state of UP, and state of Madhya Pradesh. One FIR was there in Haryana, and 3 FIRs in state of UP, and 2 FIRs in state of MP. On the same evening when the FIR was registered, he was arrested from his home, and he was then sent to police remand and judicial custody. And when we filed bail application before the magistrate, and we have cited the case of Arnesh Kumar, that this offense is punishable less than 7 years, and you cannot make the instant arrest. You need to issue a notice under Section 41A CRPC. You need to comply with the directions of the Supreme Court in view of the Arnesh Kumar's case. But the court ignored that precedent also and sent him in judicial custody. Then we approached the Court of Additional Sessions Judge at Karnal, and Additional Sessions Judge, relying upon the same judgment of the Supreme Court in Arnesh Kumar's case, said that yes, there are lapses in the investigation and there are lapses in the arrest. Even the public prosecutor who was representing the state there before the court admitted before the court that yes, there are lapses in the investigation and the arrest. This has been recorded and observed by the court in the order. But when we got bail from the Sessions Judge Karnal, and his family members went to receive him from the district jail Karnal on 2nd of June, the UP police reached there. They were thinking that we can arrest Pankaj Punia as and when he will come out of the jail. We will arrest him. But as advised, Pankaj Punia did not sign his personal bail bonds inside the jail, and this is how he opted to stay inside the jail. So UP police could not arrest him on that day. But what they have done later, on 4th of June, they came with a production warrant. On production warrant, they took Pankaj Punia to the Noida court, and he was produced before the Chief Judicial Magistrate at Noida. The CGM Noida sent Pankaj Punia back to Karnal jail in judicial custody, and on the next day granted him record bail. Then this Pankaj Punia, before approaching the courts in bail jurisdiction, also approached the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Senior Advocate Sanjay Hegde argued this matter before the Supreme Court, and the president of Arnab Goswami's case was cited before the court. But the court said that no, we are not inclined to grant him relief under Article 32, and delegated him before the appropriate high courts or appropriate forums. So then what we did, we filed a project anticipatory bail application before the Punjab and Haryana High Court. We said that Pankaj Punia, if he comes out from the jail, he will be arrested by the UP police and Madhya Pradesh police. So as the Supreme Court has said that we can avail the remedies before the concerned high courts and appropriate forums. So we need a relief to approach the concerned high courts and concerned lower courts for bail. So the Honorable High Court granted us transit anticipatory bail till 29th of June. And this is how Pankaj Punia came out of jail yesterday, when we produced the order of the court, the order of the Noida court, order of the Karnal court, and order of the High Court. But he spent 3 weeks for a single tweet, and which he referred to 2 incidents. In fact, how the people belonging to RSS and BJP misinterpreted that tweet, and they got registered FIRs against him. Now there are 6 FIRs to the knowledge of the Pankaj Punia, but there may be some other FIRs in some other states or some other police station which we are not aware. So this is very difficult to defend multiple FIRs, and this is you can see that for single tweet a person is behind the bars, and he was referring to 2 incidents, and how the BJP people misinterpreted that tweet. So this is how we need to be careful while posting something on Twitter, and especially when we are referring something regarding any religion, any caste. So we need to be more careful, because what is offensive for the other may not be offensive for you. So you need to be more careful for that. So there are, beside this case, there are several other arrests of civilians have taken place for expressing their free opinion and anti-establishment views. We can see reports from across the country show growing official intolerance for dissent and contrary opinions. India, like many other countries, places what would consider, as we discussed, a reasonable restriction on freedom of speech and expression. But the recent string of arrests highlights not just a general disregard for the free speech, but also a specific intolerance toward anything that challenges or mocks the political establishment. So it is clearly evident that social media is a very powerful means of exercising one's freedom of speech and expression. The incident which I have referred would show that we are living in a fake democracy and George Orwell's surveillance state. So we need to be careful while posting something on social media. But at the same time, we need to keep raising issues, keep questioning the establishment and system. But at the same time, we should be wise enough to choose the contents of any post on Twitter or Facebook, because as I said, that what is good for you may not be good for the others. So this is how the social media is good for us and at the same time bad for us. So
Thank
I
you.
would end up this, and I would again thank the AIPC for giving me an opportunity of sharing my views on the platform of AIPC. Thank you.
Thank you, Sukhvinder ji.
Look, I mean, Roshan and Sukhvinder, thank you so much. This has been an extremely helpful and insightful webinar. I've learned a lot, specifically on Sukhvinder's presentation and all these FIRs that are being filed. We in AIPC are going to be doing something about it, so stay tuned. We actually have some idea in the works on how we can actually combat this and how we can protect our people and also protect free speech in India. Not just free speech, but civil liberties, broadly. And I think you have actually identified a very serious need in the country, and we are doing something about it. I cannot say more at this point, but we in AIPC are going to be doing something about it. Thank you very much again, AIPC Haryana, for inviting me.